You are listening to DC On Screen.
Oh, Jason, it's been so long.
Yep.
It hasn't. It really hasn't.
It felt like a long time.
It has felt like a long time. But as I understand it, on top of, my car being in the shop kind of perpetually, I understand you're taking care of a crow now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your text said that you have Corvid.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm with child. Shall be a crow, as was Odin's way and desire.
I remember you eating one of those when the Snyder Cut happened.
Yeah.
But
I recently deleted a lot of files on my computer. I kept that one.
Oh, of course.
Accountability. That's important.
Yeah.
Can't erase the mistakes of your past. You got to learn from them.
Well, maybe Netflix will eventually learn from this one. They canceled Dead Boy Detectives.
Yeah,
the bastards. One season.
I know.
That was such a good show.
I wish I had the energy and knowledge and wherewithal to be able to pretend you just told me that so I could do a fake walk-off and a fake mic drop and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to spend the time finding a footstep.wave file that will match the audio in this room.
Yeah. And I didn't prepare you for Foley, so.
No. And I'm pretty sure I could do an envelope and a fade out, though, if I could find the file real quick.
Yeah.
But I did that spiritually. Know that I did that spiritually.
Yeah, I didn't even do that spiritually. I saw the news and went, yeah, that sounds right.
I didn't say it didn't sound right.
I'm dead inside now. Sandman is,
they can no longer investigate.
Yeah, Sandman is, filming the second season.
And doesn't it have you already being like, the final season? You're like,
maybe. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
It's Netflix, man. That you can only count on what you have.
You've got Netflix, you got that, the gaming allegations, but it looks like, with this, Netflix, the writing was kind of on the wall, because the show hit Netflix's top 10 list during the first 3 weeks. It only had 3.1 million views for the first 3 days, and then it dropped out of the Netflix top 10. And so it is really looking like it's, it just didn't have the numbers.
It is a shame. It happens.
People weren't into it.
It happens. That is kind of funny, though, because they had about the time, and this was extremely relevant. Somebody asked me if I thought there would be another season of the show because I just told them to watch it. I'd watch like one episode and be like, oh, that's really got me. I'm going to watch it kind of thing. Like, do you think there'll be more? I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, because, Gaiman's got a whole thing. He's got a lot of pull over there. His show's doing well, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, at the time, I was like, yeah, man, I mean, that show's been out for like a couple weeks. It's still in like the top 10 every time I open Netflix's front page. Like, I think we're fine. And then I guess I was like saying that as it was dropping off.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell.
The rug was being pulled out right from under me as I said it.
Yeah. They have a new trailer for the Penguin.
Yeah.
I can't say that there's a whole lot of new stuff there. I mean, it all looks really like stuff we haven't seen, but like it feels the same.
Yeah.
It hasn't made me go, oh, I want to watch this more or less. And if anything, we got a little bit more of Sophia Falcone, the great Kristen Milioti, and I am even more into her character, which I was gonna be because I love Kristen Milioti.
Yeah.
So,
but in this example, though, do you ever watch two trailers like just like these two and think these both accomplished the same end to me? Why did we make two? Every once in a while, I do kind of want to know why the first achieved everything this one did.
Yeah. Well, in the movies, they do like the more of a teaser trailer almost at the beginning, it's like a tone trailer, and then the second one is the story trailer.
Yeah.
And then the third is usually kind of a blend of those with a little bit of extra stuff thrown in. It just felt
wait, the third though is either the third one I thought either you completely reveal the entire plot in the third trailer.
Sometimes if you do it wrong.
Yeah. Or sometimes you reveal that actually the entire time it was a comedy because you drop nothing but the 5 jokes in the entire movie in the last trailer.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, if you do it wrong.
Yeah. These are important forks in the road that people have gone down though.
It is. It is. You know, my favorite version of just like every trailer was the wrong trailer was for the 2000s High Fidelity starring John Cusack and Jack Black.
Ooh, never saw this.
The trailers were just like, Rob's depressed. You know, it was just like one of those like 90s like, but now he's got to learn what to do, you know. And it just very like romantic comedy kind of tone. And because I liked John Cusack at the time, I was like, I'm going to go see that in theater. And I, you know, I was like 17. And it's like still like tied for my favorite movie with the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Like,
a crucial film in your existence. Yeah.
It is not at all what they said it was.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
like you went in for the afternoon with a jaunty attitude. Oh, let's go see this little dopey little film. I like Cusack. Oh my God, my life is different.
Yeah. And admittedly, the bit in the trailer that really got me, that made me go see it, was the old guy walking in and asking Jack Black, I want to buy a record for my daughter. I just called to say I love you. Do you have it? And Jack Black was like, "There's no way your daughter likes that song. Oh, is she in a coma?" That's what got me to go see it. And that was there. It was in the movie. But like Jack Black's antics were few and far between in that movie. Like it was a light sprinkling to spice up a film which was pretty depressing about a guy who was kind of a real asshole.
Mm-hmm. And losing it. Yes. So, you know, that's always like, I always think of that when I'm like, mess of a film. I mean, not as far as filmmaking goes, it's fantastic. It's a mess of characters.
And it kills me that there's so many fans of that movie who are like, yeah, Rob was right. And I'm like, no, Rob was an asshole. No, the point was that Rob was bad. Rob was a dick. And by the end of it, it says he's starting to figure out how to make a playlist for Laura. Because he's just now coming around to the idea that maybe he shouldn't be a fucking dick all the time. Like, stop being a selfish asshole who hurts women.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's a whole movie of what I do wrong, with an interlude where someone says, "Oh, you promised you wouldn't say that." Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But you get two snippets of early Jack Black, but he is 1000% Jack Black in those moments.
Oh yeah. Like one of my favorite like examples of how he's like a terrible, like John Cusack's a terrible person in that movie is like he talks to this girl who's like, why did you reject me? And she was like, because I was like 18. I didn't want to sleep with you. And you said it was a waste of time. You walked off or whatever. And he's like, oh my God, you're right. I did reject her. That's another one I don't have to worry about. No, you destroyed her life for like several years. You're a dick.
Yeah.
That's not a relief, you ass.
Yeah.
Anyway. SFX Magazine was talking to the Penguin showrunner Lauren LaFranc and the Batman director Matt Reeves, and they did confirm that Batman will not be in the Penguin. He will not make any sort of cameo in the series. He said, I understand why people's desire, LaFranc said, I understand what people's desire would be to have Batman, or to think that unless Batman's in a show or a film, then it doesn't have the same punch. To me, I think it packs a different punch. Matt's films are through the lens of the Batman, so you're high up, looking down on the city. It's a different perspective. With Oz, you're in the city streets, you're in the grit and the muck and the grime. He's looking up, wanting to claw his way to the top. So it's a little different. I think Gotham is an interesting enough city that it deserves to have more doors unlocked within it, and for us to walk through those and see what we think. I don't feel like it's missing something fundamental, Reeves said. I feel like it's an extension of what is fundamentally there. We know this is the world of Batman. You're going down a different alley, so the specter of Batman is there. The specter of the Riddler is there. The specter of everything that happens in the last movie is there. It informs it, and it's exactly where we begin. I'm good with that. I didn't... Now, note.
It's a very thoughtful response to a question that's been asked and answered several times.
Yeah. I note that they didn't say Bruce Wayne wouldn't be in it.
Okay, sure. I did assume both, but...
Yeah, I would assume maybe, but then I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. There might be a Bruce in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It seems it's silly on both sides. Like, why would you make a spinoff show based on a major character and then just be like, yeah, but the trick is we're not going to use them at all? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we've been told over and over again that we're not going to do that. So at this point, if we're going to watch the show, we're going to watch the show on the terms we were given. Like, let's just watch.
Yeah. Let's talk about this documentary because Penguin comes out September 19th and this documentary comes out September 21st.
Ooh, one complaint about Penguin before you start.
Sure. Let's talk about that.
HBO Max. WTF, motherfuckers. Because I was watching something else on Max, and briefly for a second I was like, well, let me refresh myself. What's the date the Penguin drops? Because I'd seen in passing there was a little banner, somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The Penguin, great. I was like, let me just remind myself what date. How do you have coming soon on the banner for your show, HBO Max, and not the date? It drops in a couple weeks, man.
That sounds like Warner Brothers, doesn't it?
That sounds like such a basic ass thing to just have on the website. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
I could see the trailer. The trailer was right there.
Yeah.
Probably told me at the end. All right.
So, yeah. We got a lot of stuff coming up, though. Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story.
Mm-hmm.
They released that trailer, and that comes out. That is like a fandom, not fandom. It's a fandom event, the 21st, and then again on Reeves' birthday, September 25th. And the international rollout will be later this year. Bethany and I already have our tickets for September 21st. So yeah, we're gonna hit that up. And last night when we got our tickets, we were the only two people who had bought tickets for it. But this trailer, man, it made me misty. Yeah, it got me. I choked. I choked. I showed the trailer to Bethany, and I looked over, and she was just tears streaming.
It'll be a roughin'. I probably will go with y'all if I'm in town. I got to check on that. I might be out.
If you're in town, if you're not still sick somehow.
Both of those will have to align.
Yeah. I'll even tell you what seat we got.
And which city.
So well, you know where we're at.
Usually the one, but you'll get wily sometimes.
Oh, we do sometimes.
Every once in a while, I'll make assumptions about where you are, and you're like, no, there's a secondhand bookstore two counties away.
Mm-hmm.
With a barbecue place next to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking
no, that's a real thing. I mean, that's a drive-in. I know what you're talking about. Saul's barbecue is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also have a pizza joint in there. Yeah. Solid. The only thing I don't like about it is actually the drive-in.
Yeah.
Our dear friend Effie is coming to visit.
Very excited.
We've already made Bethany was like, "Hey, have you ever been to a drive-in?" And she was like, "No," 'cause she's from the Netherlands, and
that would be miserable.
Yeah, and so I hate the drive-in.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Tell you what, I'll go out there with y'all. I'll have barbecue beforehand, and y'all go watch a movie. I'll find something else to do." I hate I'm a tall guy. I hate sitting in a car scrunching and trying to crane my neck to see the top of the screen, and then yeah, it's just not my thing, man. It's just not my thing.
I haven't been to one in, I don't know, somewhere between 20 and 25 years.
Yeah. Oh, and I was also wrong. It's not Fandom Events. It's Fathom Events. God, I'm stupid. That
makes more sense.
I see Fathom Events all the time, and I'm just the DC of it all just got in my head. Fandom, no, Fathom, you dumb piece of shit.
It tracks more. I had no reason to believe there might not be something called fandom. Sure, it's like a GoFundMe kind of situation. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about Joker Folie Deux. It's funny. It's currently at 61% on Rotten Tomatoes, 44 reviews as of when I made these notes.
Nice.
2 days ago. Now, if you listen to this show, we say, don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes. Go and see it. Make up your mind for yourself. I hate this. Let's look it up on Rotten Tomatoes and see if we should see it. See this all the time. People posting also in Facebook groups and stuff. It's blah, blah, blah. Any good? Watch it.
Or at least watch a trailer. I'll even accept if you go to find another rating system somewhere.
Yeah, like Cinema Score or something.
Definitely go watch it. But yeah, if you have to at least go find another ranking. But actually, wouldn't know who to recommend.
I just don't understand. Like, is this any good? I don't know. There are lots of people who say lots of things are good. You know what? I have lots of friends who say that Dune was amazing. I haven't seen it, but it looks boring as shit.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to it. I'm sorry. Maybe one day I will.
I mean, to that end, though, sometimes you just kind of reach out and say, well, me and you, we like similar things along these lines. Is this going to fit or something? No. Okay. Just don't spend that time that way.
I had to unfortunately break the news to our buddy Pud over on Twitter that I've never seen the Mad Max movies because I saw the first one and I hated it so much. I could not bring myself to watch the rest.
Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm in the same boat too.
Yeah. I did love that last bit though. The last bit in the movie where he like chains the guy to the car and tells him the car will blow in 10 minutes. You can hacksaw your foot off in 5. As he's driving away, you see the blow up in the background. Yeah. Like I really love that. The rest of the movie sucked.
I don't remember that. Like, I remember this being something that aired in pieces between, like, I don't know, man. I saw it with commercial breaks on like TNT probably or some shit growing up. And the kind of like afternoon syndication where those commercial breaks are way too long sometimes. Like, they're showing you like 5 seconds of movie sometimes, it feels like. Then back to commercials for another hour. But I just couldn't. I even tried to watch Fury Road, Shortly after that was just the only thing anyone talked about for 6 months, and I couldn't. I made it about 30 minutes in, and we kind of watched everything else. We'd like fast forwarded and skipped around a little bit. I just couldn't.
Yeah, I think the closest I've gotten to liking it is that one episode of Rick and Morty. Like, the before four. Morty's, giant muscle arm or whatever it was. You remember that episode?
Yeah, but I think that's the one where it has Joel McHale.
Oh God, I don't remember that.
I forget how they dressed him, but it's like it's a Mad Max area where he's got like a mask on.
Yeah, they totally do like Thunderdome, and
I think that's it. Hell, it's Rick and Morty though. It could have done this 2 or 3 times by now.
Back to Joker though. We got a first look at Harvey Dent in the second Joker movie, Todd Phillips. And Scott Silver, the screenwriter, were talking to the press, and they were asked if Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face, and they said, we respect the comics. We get the comics. In Harley's case, we watched the animated series. Of course, Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. But when we run things through this film, Harvey Dent is a perfect example. It's actually a simpler way of talking about what we did with Harley, which was really just put the real world lens on it, and not the other movies, and not that other movies didn't, but just run it through our Gotham. And so really the Harvey Dent you meet in here is not a huge part, but if you're going to have a trial, why wouldn't you have the assistant DA prosecuting Arthur Fleck be Harvey Dent? But it's not about his, we don't really reveal his dark side. We see a young Harvey Dent. And for me, as a comic book fan, I am like, Jesus Christ, I am feeling so tired. I'm so tired of them just using names and not doing characters. And I understand that, look, I am fair. I want to be fair about this and be like, give them something, let them have some air to breathe. If we don't, like Batman the Animated Series gave origins to a number of Batman villains who never had real origins. They were just 2-dimensional characters. Cool. Give them cool origin stories. Do something different with it. I'm good. Scott Snyder, did some really cool takes, like new, refreshing retcons of some of these characters. But in the case of something like what Arrow did, all the CW shows did this shit, and even more so now in this, whatever this Phillips universe is, you're just saying fucking names. You're not doing anything with the characters, and it drives me nuts.
I do think it's problematic no matter how you do it to some extent, though. Because, like, all right, so let's say you just don't, or let's say you go full throttle, and you say, yeah, it's got Harvey Dent because we're gonna have to prosecute him, so I need an attorney there. So now it's gonna have Harvey Dent in full throttle form, and eventually you're gonna be like, well, that's just too many people for a movie. Y'all need to slow down. But if you just didn't mention him at all, I mean, that could be no one could notice, but a lot of us would also just be like, you're telling me you had a prosecutor sitting right there and you didn't think it would be a good idea to make sure that was Harvey. Like,
it just doesn't make any difference. You didn't have to have him be Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
And if he is Harvey, because now everyone's got like an expectation. That's why people are asking, like, oh, is he going to be Two-Face? Well, it's like more of a proto Harvey. Bullshit. Bullshit. And, it's fine. And I'll watch the movie. And I don't care that much. But, that's the problem, though. I don't care. And I'm sitting there going like, this is a farce. This is, you wanted to make a certain movie and you're using the IP, and clever trick, Todd. I get it. That's fun. But I kind of get it when people are like, this is bullshit. I'm not interested. Like, yeah. I'm getting a little tired of this. Stop just using the IP names to get what you want in a way. Like, you don't have any real interest in doing anything with Two-Face. By the way, if they did do something with Two-Face in that universe, it might have been cool.
No, it could be.
But they're not gonna.
Put in the right universe, a lot of these ideas are just endless fun to reinterpret because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, if you're not really interested in messing with him, I guess maybe that's it. I guess maybe that's what's pissing you off about it, is it comes across as disingenuous.
Right.
And like irksome, I guess, for exactly that reason. Like, just leave it alone if you're not going to do anything with it. Goddamn. Just back
exactly.
off.
It's like if I was like, hey, I've got this really exciting new recipe for Brussels sprouts, and then I bring it out and it's just crackers. And they're like, I thought you said it was Brussels sprouts. I'm like, oh, that's just what I'm calling them. Because, people like to be healthy, and Brussels sprouts are healthy. So here's your Brussels sprouts.
I just don't feel like this works in some real capacity, but I really, really don't want to try to make it work. Because that sounds like 20 minutes of trying to make a Brussels sprout work in a metaphor that I feel is doomed.
Yeah. So here's your saltine.
But
Brussels sprout.
But like, I don't want to. It doesn't feel the same though. Somehow, I don't know. There is a part of me that's like, I get it. I get the feeling jerked around a bit, but at the same time, I so casually think, metaphorically tossing popcorn in my mouth one kernel at a time as I do so. Like, oh, yeah, I guess it makes sense that dude's Harvey. Whatevers.
Yeah, if you're setting up something, fine.
It didn't have to be a setup for me in any capacity, and I think I'm okay with it. Like, oh yeah, I guess that would have to be a Harvey. Doesn't necessarily have to be a Two-Face, but I suppose it'd be a Harvey. Sure, that makes sense. I
guess I'm just, it's also like coming at a time where I'm like, I'm 40. I don't want to see another proto Green Arrow. I don't want to see another proto Harvey Dent.
Yep.
I want to see the Thing.
Tired of being fucking IP baited. Give me that shit.
I don't want him to be called the Hood.
Yeah.
It's
still
not
damaged
like
from the days of the Blur.
No tights, no flights.
That was one of the dumber ones, man. Fuck that.
I know, right? I like Smallville quite a bit. I have it all on DVD. I like it. But
sorry, it was a lovely show. I thought that was a particularly dumb turn.
It was a dumb rule.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
very interested. By the way,
surely we could have done better.
I don't think I have it anywhere in the notes, but Rosenbaum and Welling are developing that animated series that is a sequel to Smallville.
Cool.
And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. I feel like every time they approach Welling about anything before, they just start with, all right, first things first. It's not in Vancouver. All right, we're going to start from there.
Well, I think importantly, this is just this came from Welling and Rosenbaum, who reconnected on Rosenbaum's podcast and decided like, hey, we miss each other. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So they haven't even pitched it to Warner Brothers yet. So
I like the cutesy story that those two revived their old friendship.
Yeah,
makes me feel good.
So according to Lady Gaga, she and Joaquin Phoenix and herself. Or she and Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips, I should say, would often do major rewrites on the set. She said we'd very often meet in Joaquin's trailer, and sometimes we would just tear the script up and start all over. It was a really cool, liberating process. Phillips said, my line about Joaquin is that he's the tunnel at the end of the light. You think, okay, this scene works, let's just go shoot it. And Joaquin's like, no, let's go have a quick meeting about it. And 3 hours later, you're rewriting it on a napkin. What's great about Lady Gaga is that she really holds her own both off camera when we're in the trailer tearing things apart, when she probably spent the night before learning, but also on camera. It was not a small feat. That sounds like chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to believe the Rotten Tomato score.
It would. It would.
Yeah.
Like in a day-to-day work sense, I think that would drive me a little bit insane. And I do love some chaos, but I guess I have to know where the edges are, even of the chaos.
Yeah, but hey, do your thing, y'all. I'm letting them cook.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll sample their wares.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it here.
Until then, I ain't afraid of no roast.
Damn you.
Sorry.
So yeah, tickets are on sale for Joker. Folly it's on sale now. Superman and Lois. Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
According to TV Line, we're going to see a comic book character appear before the end of the season. Co-showrunners Todd Helbing and Brent Fletcher did not reveal who it was. They said there is a pretty significant character from the comics that we were actually surprised that we were able to use. And it's pretty soon in the season. You hear the name drop, then start hearing the name drop more, and then you see that person eventually. Those are some vague comments, but we do know that Tom Cavanaugh is going to be in the season. We don't know if it's them or him. Though Helbing says, well, whatever character Tom Cavanaugh is playing, the character was created for him. You would think it's as though, he says there's a lot of cameos more than any other season, but that came out because it's a character in the comics. And I mean, it's like somebody met Tom Cavanaugh, went back in time, created this character, and then was like, hey, you guys should cast this guy. I am curious if they're talking about the same character here to TV Line, about the significant character from the comics that shows up.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to know if that's the character Tom Cavanaugh is playing. I'm also very curious if either one of them is Batman. I mean, you've got...
Or the combination thereof.
This season is a Death of Superman type of thing, but I mean, you kind of think like, fuck, man, you need Funeral for a Friend, right? I mean...
Right.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think? I'm excited about Superman and Lois. That starts October 7th.
Tom Cavanaugh's just going to show up as a very lively Alfred.
Oh, God.
House is clean.
Yeah. 2-episode premiere, Monday, October 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm excited. Superman and Lois is the shit. By the way, You've been sick, stuck in the basement. You should catch up on Superman and Lois.
Yeah, I might actually try that one too.
It's not many episodes.
It isn't, but they are hour long.
They are.
I'm not ruling that out. I'm stuck in a basement. I'm just saying. It's like for a minute, you'll find a show for a second there, and you'll be like golden for a little while, and then that runs out on you, and it seems like there's nothing in the world to watch for a second. But
yeah, I mean, I'm trying to help you out. I gave you Bad Monkey, which, by the way, if any of you guys listening out there haven't seen it, Apple TV, Bad Monkey, Vince Vaughn, created or not totally created. I think it was based on a book, but adapted by Bill Lawrence of Scrubs fame, Shrinking fame, Ted Lasso fame. Very much not like any of those shows. Though
just running Apple TV now.
Though Zach Braff does show up on the show.
Nice.
And he is not okay.
He shows up as Dax for a second there.
Yeah, he actually does. He's very, very much like a drug addict.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. New Creature Commandos. Look, James Gunn posted some pictures. None of them are very, out of what we've seen before. Really, the only conversation about surrounding this has been there's one shot of GI Robot standing next to a big tall guy with his World War II unit Easy Company, and everyone's like, "Oh, I think it's Sergeant Rock." Yeah, might be. I don't know.
It's Frankenstein 2.
Yeah, I'm excited about the show though.
Yeah.
James Gunn recently told EW, "I'm used to dealing with oddballs and irregular types and weirdos. That's what Guardians is, and Creature Commandos is kind of like Guardians without the sentimentality." The Guardians are all really good characters at their heart, and that just isn't necessarily the case with the creatures.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we actually have a date now, Thursday, December 5th, exclusively on HBO Max.
There we go.
Or Max for Creature Commandos. And while it's, not the official launch of the DCU, it is part of the DCU. And
I'm kind of low-key considering it the official launch of the DCU.
Yeah, me too. Like, Gunn keeps saying, like, oh, Superman's the official launch, but Creature Commandos is like a taste. And I'm like, dude, stop confusing people. Just Creature Commandos is the start. Shit.
It's like a restaurant soft open. Yeah. On a Wednesday night.
So Gunn says on Superman, there is no truth to Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba being played on the set of Superman. Yes, this is a real rumor on Reddit someone just sent me.
Okay.
Why would it? Why would it be? I guess because Superman is Superman, as he gets knocked down and he gets up again. You're never going to keep him down. Is that?
It's a song about political dissonance, I believe. Does that matter here? I don't. That sounds like a deeply exhausting rumor. I'm way excited that
people are just coming up with things to upset.
I'm very much excited that I learned about it in the course of the sentence a second ago, and that sentence was very confusing for me. And I don't know if I'll go to sleep at the same time I was going to otherwise go to sleep tonight at.
Yeah, it's not happening. Don't worry. Don't worry.
that was a weird moment.
Yeah,
I'm glad it's over.
Over to Peacemaker 2.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Robert Patrick saying he is back. He says, I was with John on Friday. We're filming season 2. I was just working with James Gunn on Friday. James is amazing. He's one of the most talented people I've met in my life. Blah, 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 blah. A lot of dick sucking.
Nice things, great. Blah, blah, blah.
Nice things. The important thing is he's back on Peacemaker. Yes, he's dead. People are like, well, he's supposed to be dead. Yeah, but the character haunts Peacemaker. That's what he does. Like,
cool.
Back in the 80s, they did that in the comics where he like floats around and he's in Peacemaker's brain. Kind of like Joker was in Arkham Knight.
Yeah. Which was lovely. Went through all that again recently. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Would be so mad if there's not anger on Rick's part about being killed with a toilet. I want it brought up. How disgraceful that is to be killed with a chunk of toilet.
Well, I mean, I think he is coming back. That I think Rick Flag Jr. is coming back, but Robert Patrick is Peacemaker's dad.
Oh, you said that's who's come back?
Yeah.
No, my bad. Well, that's a shame. Missed that entirely.
Yeah, the Nazi. His dad, who's in his head all the time.
This is more shameful. Well, he doesn't know his boy got killed. No.
Well, Rick Flag Sr. does know his boy got killed, and he's coming to take it out of
he is probably, you're
Peacemaker's ass, is what Gunn has said. Because, the guy, Frank Grillo, who played Crossbones in Marvel, is playing Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah, that's right.
In Creature Commandos and Peacemaker 2, and maybe Superman.
It's going to be an interesting run there.
Yeah, everybody's a little confused about who else coming back.
Yeah, me too, I guess.
Including you.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I could straighten that out.
So old racist dude's coming back instead is what you're telling me.
Well, not instead. He's just also there.
Well, instead of what I was thinking.
Right. But I have heard, it does look like, in some capacity, Rick Flag Jr. is going to be back.
Oh, cool.
Maybe flashback. Who knows? Over to Batman Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to SFX, Matt Reeves says, what was important to me was to find a way to take these pop icons, these mythic characters that everybody knows, and translate it so that Gotham feels like a place in our world. He says that his universe get to the edge of Fantastical, but we would never go into full Fantastical. It's meant to be quite grounded. Your main character is dressed like a fucking bat.
I was just waiting to see if you had any actual editorial notes under the exhausted sigh, or if it was.
I've got them.
If you were just going to leave that breathing for a second, but.
I got them. Matt Reeves says, it doesn't mean that you won't see characters that people love. That's exactly what we want to do. Gentleman Ghost has probably pushed a bit too far for us to be able to find a way to do it. But there is a fun way to think about how we could take characters that might push over into a bit of the fantastical and find a way to make sense of that. There's a way to do Gentleman Ghost, of course. I mean, Jesus Christ, Scooby-Doo could have done that shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I get it. You don't want to push yourself. Don't want to stretch. I mean, clearly, to me, look, I liked the Batman. I'm excited for Penguin. All right, but when I see things like this, it reminds me of when Jon Favreau was like, "Oh, I don't really want to do the Avengers because I don't really see how Thor could fit into the same world as Iron Man." Mm-hmm. That's fucking limited thinking. It pisses me off, and you have no. To me, this is just my opinion. You kind of have no business doing any kind of comic book anything. If you're like, nah, I don't want to do a fantasy world. Wrong job. I'm kind of losing it a bit. I'm just like, I try to be so positive. Man.
I mean, that's the beauty of the landscape now is, you're not trading as much as we have before. One possibility for the next as things get cheaper. But yeah, so you can have the gritty take where no one gets powers and everyone's named something close to, but not close enough to the actual character you were hoping for. And then you can have the full fucking phantasm of the universe right in front of you if you want to. Same thing.
Yeah.
What
kills me, and this is going to go on a little tangent here for a second, but
that's fine. I'll just mute you and get some coughing out of my system if it goes on for a minute. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Or I'll mute me. I
just feel like, Matt Reeves, and he hasn't really said it, but it feels like he's like, oh, in our universe, we're doing, like, you're not the first. This isn't some, like, to be fair, Nolan
you won't be the last. Like,
yeah, like, Nolan did this shit before you. Yeah. Nolan, like, oh, we're going to do it grounded. Okay. All right. Blah, boring, but okay. That's fine. Like, to me, what's more interesting is how do you make the Fantastical feel grounded? Like, that's the actual trick, is to take something crazy and make it seem like it could actually happen. So, but to me, it's got like a whiff of that pop star YouTube girl, JoJo Siwa, who has gone dark now and is trying to say like, oh, I'm the first, gay pop icon. And I'm like, bitch, Elton John?
Liberace. Hell.
Liberace? Yeah.
Same instruments.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, well, of this generation, you're not even that.
Yeah, not even of that.
Like, I mean, Freddie Mercury, for Christ's sake. I mean, I know that's not of this generation, but still not even of this generation. Like, it's just,
I mean, it'd be hard.
You're not doing anything new.
It'd be hard to do anything in this late 2024 generation in general that's not like some influencer hasn't already beaten you to it.
Yeah, looking at Matt Reeves. What are
you going to do that you're actually the best in the world at right now with as many little worlds as are possible? Everything's a fucking vacuum, bro. There is no monoculture. The best you can do is be the biggest in the pond everyone else can see right then.
So, in short, I'm fine. I'll watch the Batman Part 2. I'm interested to see where the story goes. But
everyone, please stop putting out news about this because it's getting less and less interesting for Dave as you describe the movie. Just show the thing to him.
It is, and it's like this like sad fucking needy version of this where it's like, well, I mean, what we're doing is like grounded in reality. What we're doing is like really realistic. It's like a realistic take on it. No, it's not.
In a way, though, I don't blame them. It's like I don't blame them altogether. I have the same opinion about a lot of like election coverage at the moment. Bear with me. It's the question that's pissing you off. It's how it's being covered in a lot of ways that might be pissing you off. Because,
in some ways.
They're answering these questions with answers that are boring for you because you've how many times have you seen that fucking press junket? Is this going to be the kind of universe where this happens or this happens? And
I've been seeing this version of it since 2005.
I know, but like what's worse about that is it peels back one more layer. It's not just that you're seeing it now and you're bored with the press afterwards. It's that they were making the movie with the context of all that in mind, thinking about those questions before they ever made the damn thing. Mm-hmm. The notes being given were in response to those stupid questions you're mad about anyway, because they were always going to be there, because we're always going to do something to address that, inane bullshit that really isn't making everyone as happy as it could be if in some ways people got to get a little more off the leash and just fucking make things that made them joyous. Yeah.
I just, I'm happy if Matt Reeves is like having fun. What I don't like is just like the constant like, oh, we're doing it really grounded. Please watch my movie. Like, God, just make something that looks cool. Like nobody cares if it makes sense. Not like on like a, physics level or like a, whether it's hard reality versus fantasy. Like the Marvel movies make crazy amount of money and what part of that is grounded in reality? Like, not a whole hell of a lot anymore.
I mean, there's a bit of a, I don't know. Some of what's boring about some of the coverage is also the horoscope-like tendencies of it. Is that it sounds a little bit like everything and nothing like anything. Like it's gonna be it's gonna be real grounded, but we're gonna be real fantastic about a few parts of it. And okay, it's gonna be like a real big tale that's got some real small scope. All right,
yeah. And then meanwhile, we've got people out here going like, "Oh, he's gonna do Clayface." He's not doing Clayface.
Yeah.
He's not doing Clayface, y'all. He's scared of any kind of fantastical element, despite having a dude run a billionaire, the only billionaire in the town who has enough money to be Batman, running around as Batman, driving the souped up little sports car. Yeah. You can't just.
I kind of like. There's a part of me that hates to pick a direction because that can be so, broad stroked about. I don't like this kind of thing. But yeah, there is a part of me that like if you had a character that's Clayface, like proper Clayface, and you decide that like the gritty take on him is that he's just a really good actor who's very good at makeup and has a couple of like secret masks that no one knows he has, like some latex prints or something, and like you name check something about how he's like he could mold his face so quickly like clay or whatever, but just I ain't here for that. Like that's the kind of trend, if I have to pick one to pick on, that like, no, that one's the one that gets under my skin.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's an unrewarding task. Hey, do this thing in a way that no one could possibly appreciate. That's also different from anything anyone's ever seen. But if they don't recognize it, they won't care. Good luck.
Yeah. And when I talk about like doing something fantastical, but making it seem realistic, I mean like Batman the Animated Series did it so perfectly so many times. Like when they introduced Clayface and Batman sees him for the first time, the look of horror and disgust on Batman's face of seeing this creature morphing in front of him. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you can't just have Batman be like, oh, well, it's another guy. Like,
yeah.
Like, Batman was like, Jesus. Like,
I mean,
you have to have people react in a way that, like, makes it seem like this is not normal.
Have you seen, you needed to catch up on this later, but have you seen the Gentleman Ghost part of
Oh, yes. Yes, I was so excited about that.
That part I loved. Like, you spend the whole episode wondering, well, are they going to make it real, though, or not? Like, yeah. But that I like the take on that, too, is like, in this universe, Batman doesn't just sort of, like, balk at the whole... There's no...
No, he pimps over to Papa Midnight and gets some help, dude.
Fucker grabs an ally quick like. And
a boon for a boon. Whew.
Yeah, they even... I think,
magic always has costs.
Who was it that... Someone in that episode even kind of puts a pin on it and says, like, you changed your mind real quick, and Batman basically says, yep, and? Are you helping or not? I've got a ghost problem.
Yeah.
You didn't believe in those an hour ago, and now I've seen one. Information changed. What do you want from me? Why am I explaining myself? I'm here to help.
Yeah.
I'm here looking for help with the ghost.
That was a great episode, too.
It was a good episode.
It's funny, I was watching that with my wife, and Gentleman Ghost shows up, and he's like, stand and deliver.
And you immediately thought, Jason's already on board.
Yeah. Oh, he goes, stand and deliver. And my wife goes, Adam Ant? And I was like, that song is about highwaymen, which is what Gentleman Ghost is.
There we go.
So absolutely. Just running around stealing from people. Mm-hmm. Like, absolutely, that's the thing. I was very excited to see Gentleman Ghost. And what cracked me up is like Papa Midnight was totally wearing the comics accurate Gentleman Ghost. Or one of the comics accurate Gentleman Ghost costumes, like the white top hat and the full
that's cool.
The full white coat and everything. Like, I have an action figure of what Papa Midnight was wearing, basically.
That's cool.
At the end of that episode. Yeah, but oh well. Moving on. I don't want to rag on the Batman too hard. Like, it's a little frustrating to me.
I do. But, I genuinely, my take on your take is that I don't think you're ragging on the Batman. I think you're ragging on the press.
Maybe.
Even if what you think you're doing is against the Batman. I feel like you're, I'm going to over-therapize your own fucking thoughts on this thing for you, but like.
Look, I just very excitedly framed my Bill Sienkiewicz IMAX The Batman poster, and I'm happy as shit with it. Mm-hmm. I've got all the Batman action figures. Like, it's not like I didn't hate the damn thing. I enjoyed the movie, and I'm excited about Penguin, but I'm also like deeply bored with that take of just like, oh, everything's got to be grounded. Like, stop scrambling, you weasel. Stop.
Get out there and you make my dream come true, damn you. I want my childhood back.
Over to the section that I lovingly refer to as the DCT.
I thought you were going to say the end.
No, not yet. Not quite. I'm
Over to the
almost
fan
there.
favorite section, the end.
The end of this episode. No, I'm almost there. Don't worry. And by DCT, I mean the kind you spill.
Yeah, okay.
James Gunn was asked, there's a rumor that you and Pratt have been in talks about him joining the DCU, and James said, he's a close friend. We talk about that all the time. Boom. Mm-hmm. Talking to Entertainment Weekly, James Gunn said, the thing I've always loved about DC Comics was that you had your mainstream comics that always ran, but they also had these totally different comics like Watchmen and The Dark Knight Returns and All-Star Superman. It was different from Marvel in that way. That's something that I really want to retain within the studio, that every project is going to bring a different vision by the artists who are creating it. That's fine. I like that.
Yeah.
It won't matter that he said that.
No, not ultimately. But.
Because the Gunn haters and the DC haters will say that everything is the same. Like the people who love Marvel will say, "Oh, well, all the DC movies are so dark," and then all the Gunn haters will be like, "Oh, they're all too light and jokey."
Yeah,
and you'll never please everyone, and it'll be a real bummer.
It will.
Gunn posted a Labor Day photo on his Instagram. Yeah. Posted a Labor Day photo on his Instagram depicting Batman, Superman, and Robin engaged in a game of baseball. The caption of the photo read, "Have the world's finest Labor Day." And one commenter asked, Mr. Gunn, in the hypothetical case that a movie starring only Superman and Batman teaming came out, what would you call it? Superman and Batman or Batman and Superman? And Gunn said, well, can you guess what he said, Jason? Can you guess? What's the Batman-Superman team-up film hypothetically going to be called?
Between those two options? Oh.
No.
Oh.
Just what would it be called, according to Gunn?
God, I don't know. Go for it.
World's Finest.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
World's Finest. Of course, I've seen several Snyder fans claim that Gunn is obsessed because he just confirmed they're going to do a Superman movie and then a Batman-Superman movie. He's obsessed with Snyder. He wants to just do what Snyder did.
I mean,
and then
minimally,
several others
finish
say,
the headline. If the point was that he's redoing what Snyder did, Snyder didn't do World's Finest. That was not the take we watched.
Right. And several other people though complained that World's Finest is a terrible title. And I kind of agree, but it is the thing that you would call it, I guess.
I mean, I'm not saying it was the best work. I'm just saying it's a classic fucking title. You keep some respect on its mouth, or say it. How the
Put
fuck
some
that phrase
respect
work?
on its name.
There you go.
There it is. So this is a rumor. Shouldn't be taken seriously. Everybody
is. To see if I have one, I don't. But no, wait, I have a World's Finest. It's up there.
Yeah, I've got that poster. Like I have that poster somewhere. So yeah, this is a rumor, not to be mistaken as truth, absolute. Mm-hmm. But according to the N. Snyder, as well as Nexus Point News, they're talking to Josh Brolin to play Hal Jordan on Lanterns. Josh Brolin played Cable. He played Thanos in Marvel.
You've been busy.
Saw a lot of pushback on this from the fans, but that seems to be mostly from people who don't want him to be older.
I would think that would be the only thing that would strike anybody. But Hal's got a lot of iterations with gray hair, man.
Yeah, we've got a lot of iterations with gray hair,
especially after tried to kill everything.
Right, but I think like Lanterns is really, really going to be more or less, from what I understand, Hal Jordan kind of teaching Jon Stewart the ropes. So
nothing really wrong with that relationship
and
the gray hair here and there.
I'm assuming they could really push toward doing like a DH Jordan, maybe showing some flashbacks, and then really play with the fact that like Sinestro taught Jordan and then turned bad, and now Jordan's going to teach Jon Stewart and then turn bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be an easy enough way to do it. Now,
I mean,
Jeff Snyder.
I'm neither here nor there on a lot of it, other than I tend to like Jeff Brolin just fine, and I think he has a nice chin. Josh Brolin for the. Yeah, that is very different, I think. But yeah, I tend to like the guy just fine, and I like his chin for the role. That's really it. That's all.
Sure. Now, Jeff Snyder in his newsletter did say that should Brolin turn down the part, that Matthew McConaughey is next in line.
Well, then he feels too young.
And then Ewan McGregor is next on the list after that. I don't think he's too young for any of those people because they're all old. If you pay attention now.
I mean, yeah, they are, but McConaughey just feels like he's always 25.
He absolutely does not. Every time, like the past 4 years, every time I see that guy, I go like, "Damn, he's aged. That sun is really not doing him any favors."
Yeah.
Pay attention, Jason. He's getting old.
He's
a catcher's mitt.
Yeah, he is. He is. I'm sure.
All right.
I haven't stared into those cheeks in quite some time, I guess.
Yeah.
It's football season, and Texas plays in these parts now, so.
I stopped rewatching Failure to Launch.
God knows.
And take a look at the man in 2024, Jason.
What is he in now? I don't know when I watched him in something last. I genuinely don't.
I do. I know what you.
I know he's all over the place, but what is it? What have I seen recently?
He was in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh God, yeah. But I didn't see him.
You didn't. He was there. I don't know. Probably a damn Lincoln commercial.
Probably. It looks great at night in a fancy car.
He does. All right. One more piece of news. There's been all over the place. They've been saying, "Oh, they're developing a game. There's going to be a game set in the Batman universe, Matt Reeves' Batman universe." Gunn said, "Sadly, there is no truth to this whatsoever." So there's not.
There's going to be a Batman game in the Batman universe. That's just a Monopoly version.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll sell a side game that's the Penguins version of that game, where all you do is you find the address of someone who has the Batman game and just steal it from them.
Mm-hmm.
Game.
I'm all right with that. I won't play it.
It's a very dangerous game.
Yeah.
Everyone I know though that has like a game closet,
Mm-hmm.
Pretty invariably it feels like it has at least one unopened specialized Monopoly set somewhere, so could very easily be just another Monopoly.
No, not because they're keeping it precious or anything, but because they look at it and go, I don't have that in me.
Yeah, I know.
That's like a 6 to 8 hour endeavor. That's like going to work. I
believe you. And a whole range of emotions.
Yeah, so much.
And it's not necessarily the good kind. Like, you play a game, you want it to be a little hard, right? For it to be fun. You have to earn it for it to be really fun. But, you don't want to go through, I don't want to actually go through stages of depression. Not for reals.
Uh-huh.
But you can do that with a long game of, you get straight up existential and lifelong resentments are born at Park Place, for fuck's sake.
Absolutely. Yeah, for me, the pertinent issue with Monopoly is Boardwalk, because I'm so fucking bored.
And want to, say for instance,
and want to walk away from the table.
I don't blame you.
This is the worst thing. I hit level 4 depression as soon as someone says, "I want to play this board. I play a board game." I'm like, oh God. I'm pretty sure organs start to shut down in my body when someone says, "Let's play a board game." I'm just, I'm starting to get palpitations, just,
yeah. Sometimes.
Coming over to your house and seeing playing cards, knowing that you're just using them for tricks, I still, I have a minor stroke.
Just makes me sleepy. Because, one, they're boring, and two, God forbid I might actually try to show you a trick. None of these.
Yeah, a couple days ago you sent me a video with no audio.
Why would anything have audio?
A quiet video of you doing a trick very quickly. So quickly that I didn't even catch what you were doing. I'm like, well, you just showing me a coin over and over again. I don't understand.
Because the coin completely changed and my hands are completely empty. Oh! How'd you do that? It's magic. It's called magic.
I think I just sent you question marks back.
But it's not very good magic in a basement with very bad lighting, and you can't even see that it's a completely different coin.
Yeah, no, I couldn't tell that it was a different coin. I couldn't, like, I guess the way you angled your hand at the camera, I couldn't tell that, like, anything was happening. It just looked like you just kept putting a coin behind your hand or something, and I was like, is this supposed to be a trick? What is this?
Yeah. This is how bored I got at some point. I was like, no, I've actually gotten really good at these couple.
I was like, I think Jason's lost his mind.
A little bit.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That
man.
would be
I'm so sorry.
that would be a fun development. If I sent you one of those one time and you're like, so what happened? I'm like, yeah, the coin changed, and you like behind my back, you've like sent it to Christian and been like, all right, I'm not imagining it, right? The coin didn't change, right? No, he sent me the same video. It's the same coin. I think he's lost it this time.
Yeah. Oh, did you ever?
Sorry, Evelyn did this to Christian though, because Evelyn like tries to mimic. You know, she's like 5, so she'll
like 5.
Yeah, she's almost 5, as in like she used to be 5, and she's it's kind of like 5,
what?
but it's almost 6 really, and I don't know what. Somehow that's how it came out. It was fucked up.
For real, how old is your daughter?
It's almost 6.
Almost 6.
But
I thought she was 6 already.
No, she's 5. But
okay, well, I've got nieces and nephew, so
true,
and nephew, and I can't keep track of children's ages. I just can't.
No,
I try. I try, and it just doesn't
introduce
work.
myself every time and hope for the best. But
I like go to a birthday parties. I'm like, which one is this?
Yeah.
Like, my nephew Elijah just turned 10, and I will think that he's 10 for the next 5 years.
Yeah, at least. See, this is the first update I've had in a minute, so I thought he was 4.
Right.
Because that's the last time I checked in on little Elijah.
Right. And, at this point, our friend Brandon, his son Rowan just had a baby. So,
yeah, I assume he was graduating college next month.
I saw him and he was like 8, and no, he's not that old. But yeah. Jesus, every time I see him, I'm like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
Can you buy me a beer? Damn.
Why? Because I'm old enough? No, because I'm poor. Buy me one though.
Sorry, what were you saying? Yeah, Evelyn was doing something.
Oh, she was just trying
emulating
to. She was just trying to. Like, I handed her a deck of. I bought her a cat, like, so it's set with some unicorns on or something for her to ruin. But she tried to show my wife something, so she did the thing, and she was like, "Okay, turn around." Then she came back, and it was stupid because she came back, nothing had changed whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And like the wife looks back and was like, okay, what changed? And like clearly stumbling to figure out what to tell her. She said, she like pointed at one of the cards, like, look, it changed. Like, just trying to pretend that the card had somehow done any kind of transformation in the time that my wife had turned her back and come back around. Like, just completely bullshitting her. Trying to like gaslight the whole situation. I respected it in a way.
I know, because I'm pretty sure that's what you did with that video. You haven't convinced me that you did a trick.
I'll show you the coin.
I think you were trying to gaslight me into believing that something happened.
I'm going to have to put it through an edit. Do some color changing. But she effectively showed her one card and then had her come back and showed her the same card again and was like, look, it changed. And Christian was like, okay, thanks. And like, I just kind of chuckled.
I can hear Christian saying that shit too.
Yeah, like, oh shit. I don't like this at all. But I just kind of laughed for a second and was like, what? And was like, you actually have no idea how close, like that, you have no idea how right she is about how that actually works. That's actually a huge chunk of magic. It's just gaslighting. Like,
yeah, magic and marriage, man.
Yeah.
No,
but it's a hilarious amount of this stuff you'll watch, and like you'll say the word heart yourself, and then like 2 minutes later, this guy says diamond. You're like, you're right, it was a diamond, because you sell it. I was like, no, don't break it down. She's got the basics, and like she's willing to lie straight to your face for the trick. Now that's a huge building block.
Yeah,
that's not discourage her.
Yeah, that's like 80% of it.
Yeah. Let her cook, man.
Evelyn's over here like, if you will it is no lie, dude.
You're like, go ahead, baby. What you got?
Oh, shit. It's terrible.
I just realized in retrospect that I effectively watched my child lie to my wife, and I was proud.
Uh-huh.
There's a way you can break down the story to its base elements, and that's what just happened. And I'm not sure what that means, but yes, that's an accurate description.
I have feelings about what it means, but
we could talk after the show probably about that.
no, I think I'm going to have some supper. But I need to mull that over.
Mm-hmm. You just write me a few things. We'll run it through a third-party therapist.
Yeah, no. It's totally going to be that instead of me calling child services.
Right, yeah. That's why we don't have contracts. I would have put in a bunch of shit about arbitration between us if we had like a contract to do this show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not going to call anybody.
No.
I'm sitting over there laughing while she's watching Wonder Woman behead Steppenwolf.
That would have been a hilarious conversation too if we had paperwork.
Yeah.
Just one of us, if we finally got in a fight one day, just like burn the whole thing down. Fuck you, I've got it in the contract, so and so, blah, blah, blah. Well, fuck you, I lost the contract. God damn it. Touche. Checkmate it is.
Oh, man. You check your mate out. I'm not checking her.
Yeah. That would be it. We'd be at each other's throats, and there'd be one stupid wordplay joke, and be like, I remember why I loved you now. All is forgiven. That was a terrible, terrible joke. You should be ashamed of yourself.
You and I are always a pun away from being okay.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Just bleeding out on the side of a highway. One last dad joke to see me out.
Yeah. I don't know. My first thought was Batman and Joker at the end of the no. At the end of Scott Snyder's bit where he's like they're just like laying there like laughing as the world comes crumbling down upon them or whatever it was.
Yep.
I guess it wasn't at the end, but it was like right before Bruce came back and had no memory. Or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I need to reread that, I guess. The deets I've dissipated.
That was a good stretch. I have a lot to catch up on there, too.
All right. Well, I'm going to call it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Are you good with that?
Great with
you feel...
This is probably as long as I could have lasted.
Fair enough.
I was not at all joking about muting myself several times to continue coughing.
Fair enough. Do you want to come back and do a Caped Crusader review with me next?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have done the viewing part, so...
I am 4 away from being done.
I mean, I've done the heavy lifting part. Now it's just sitting around and sipping on
gabbing about it. Yeah.
Smoothie with peanut butter in it afterwards.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I guess that's what's next, y'all. A Batman Caped Crusader Season 1 review. And you already know how much we loved the Gentleman Ghost episode, apparently.
Mm-hmm. and like any Bruce Timm product, it may or may not have sexual innuendo.
It might.
All right, it will. It will. It'll have sexual references.
You know what? With only 4 episodes left, I will say, he's shown amazing restraint.
I'll give you the quickest version of that take I can. I agree with you, but it strikes me that we noticed the restraint.
Mm-hmm.
Strikes me as something that we're regarding that.
Right.
But I do agree with you, but that I believe there was a limit there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's not like no one's going doggy style in episode 9 or some shit. So, yeah, you're gonna come out with roughly the same.
Right. Like we got like Harley and Montoya going on a date. I'm like, okay, what we gonna see, Tim?
Not much.
Anyway, yeah. See you guys later. And until next time, keep some DC on your screen.
Oh.